The D, key question for the D, what does winning look like? Core value, respect. The I, core question for the I, what does fun look like? And the core value,
right,
freedom. The S, key question for the S, what does balance look like? The key value is consideration. And the C, the key question for the C, what does reliability look like? And the core value, safety. If you understand those key questions in the back of your mind and you understand their core values, you can develop a healthy relationship with any one of those personality profiles. If you don't have that language and you don't have that understanding, this was me, Bernie. I was continually stepping on people's toes without realizing it.
Welcome to the Growability Podcast, where we equip leaders and entrepreneurs to grow effective and generous organizations. I'm your co-host, Bernie Anderson, and today I have with me the founder of Growability, Joshua MacLeod. Joshua, what is our topic for today?
Bernie, today we are going to talk about how to use DISC profiles in your business to overcome team drama. The DISC profile, the DISC tool, is incredibly helpful for not making relational mistakes. So that's our topic today.
Awesome. I think the best way to begin kind of talking about this then practically, Joshua, is to just break down what DISC means. What do each of the letters stand for, and what does DISC mean?
Right.
And that might be helpful.
That's right. So the DISC profile is an acronym, that DISC, and each one of those letters represents a different style of personality. D stands for dominant. I stands for influencing. S stands for steady. And C stands for conscientious. So if you take a DISC profile and you may have heard someone say, oh, they're a high D. That means with that personality profile of dominant, this person likes to be dominant. If somebody is an I, well, they're influencing, they're an innovator. If somebody is an S, well, they're steady. Or if they're C, they're kind of conscientious.
Yeah.
There are certain things that are critical in business. One is like being able to read a financial statement. But another one is being able to understand the personalities of the people that are on my team.
So what I'm hearing you say then, Joshua, is that a business or an organization is going to reflect the personalities of the people who are in the organization.
That's exactly right. When you think about Walt Disney, Walt was somebody who was just a go-getter. He was super imaginative. He was like dreaming and always moving out. His brother Roy was somebody who was super practical. He wanted to bring everything down to earth. Let's figure out, let's we're not going to shoot the moon. Let's shoot for, the second floor. And you take the same thing like Apple. Here I have Steve Jobs, who's this driving force, but then Steve was balanced out by Steve Wozniak. So Steve Wozniak was the guy that says, okay, well, I know we want to do this, but that's what we can do in 5 years from now. The technology isn't there yet. What can we do today? So in any business, you've got to look at the personalities and what drives people. How can the people in your organization work together? If Walt Disney didn't have Roy in his organization, there would be no Disney movies. If Steve Jobs didn't have Steve Wozniak, we wouldn't have Apple Corporation. So those balances and those personality balances are not only a nice thing at a business, they're critical. They're fundamental.
I love it. Let's walk through each of these profiles and talk about what they are. So let's start with D. Go there.
Okay, the D personality, the dominant personality. Everybody knows a D or has experienced a D or has seen a D on TV.
Or is married to a D.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So the D personality is called the dominant personality because they're the go-getter. A D personality is somebody who is super productive. They are visionary. They're looking into the future, super practical. Do you want to buy this? Yes or no? Is this going to help me move forward? Yes. Is this not going to help me move forward? pass. They're strong-willed. They're independent. They're decisive. They can be pretty direct. Let's face it. Every personality has the shadow side where it's kind of like, this person is wearing me out with their personality. But if you're going to think about a D personality, one of the word pictures or one of the ways that I like to think about a D personality is an animal. And so a D, one of the ways that you can think about a D is if they're a lion. So a lion has a ton of strength. They have a lot of willpower, but their presence is kind of unavoidable. If a lion walks in the room, you just feel it. Like a lion just came in the room. This is, there's a dominant person around here.
Right.
If a D personality, if you wanted to put a Marvel superhero on a D personality would be like Tony Stark's. This is like, the world needs to move for me, so I'm going to move it. So that's kind of like a D personality. Now, all of everything that I just said, that's what spits out on the sheet. Okay, here's the D. There's the badge. I'm a D. Great. Here's the secret. Here is the knowledge that will help you in relationship with a D. And there's two things for every personality profile that no matter who you are in business, as a leader, as a team member, as a family member, you've got to memorize two things about each of the DISC personality headings. The first is the question in the back of their mind. I've got to memorize what is the question in the back of the mind of every D, every I, every S, every C. The second is the core value. Where do I step on this person's toes if I'm not careful? So every personality has a key question that's in the back of their mind, and they have a core value that is behind the decisions that they make. So what's the key question in the back of the mind of the D? This is the question. What does winning look like? When a D wakes up in the morning, they want to win. When they eat their breakfast, they want to win. When they go to work, they want to win. When they come home from work, they want to win. So if you're looking at an obstacle at work, the key question in the D's mind is, how do I overcome this obstacle? How do I win? The core value for the D personality, the thing that is really important to them, that thing that drives the decisions that they make, the core value is respect. If you don't respect a D, then they don't respect you. And most of the time, that's a bad idea because a D is a driving force. They're an influence. They're a lion. You want to respect the lion.
Always respect the lion.
Don't disrespect the lion. Hey, that tail over there is kind of stupid. The lion's looking at you like, always respect the lion. Now, if you understand that, it goes an incredibly long way for relating to a D. People who don't have a D personality are not as driven to win. People who don't have a D personality are not as hung up on respect. So people with a D personality, respect is really important, and they're really driven.
Well, so what I'm hearing you say, Joshua, is that if I'm entering a meeting, and as I go into the meeting, I recognize, this person has a D personality. Yeah. The thing I need to now put in the back of my mind is, okay, and what they want to do is know how they can win here.
That's exactly right.
So that's how, I'm showing them respect at that point. It's figuring out how can I help you win, because that's what you want, right?
This widget that we sell, this helps you win. These are like, I'm in. This widget has 15 colors and gadgets and buttons, and it turns, I don't care. This gadget helps you win. I'm in. Let's go there. So I have D personality, Bernie, in me. It's up there pretty high. The other personalities we'll talk about. So if I'm playing with my 5-year-old and we're playing Monopoly, I want to completely dominate them. I'm like, yes, honey, this is a good lesson for you. I did take away all of your cash and I have hotels on all of my properties. Sorry, it's good for you. You're going to learn how to win. D's want to win. Now, when you're a more mature parent, you realize letting them win is actually winning. So there is maturity that happens within the context of this thing. But D's want to win, hands down.
Explains why my dad never let me win at anything when I was a kid. So
he's in it for you, Bernie. He's helping you.
I have character now. So, well, let's move on. Let's talk. Okay, so D's win and respect are kind of what? How do I win? What's the winning here? And their core quality or core value is respect.
That's right.
Let's talk about the I personality.
Right. So the I personality, this is the influencing personality. They are imaginative. They have ideas. They can be indomitable. They're just like, they think big. They go big. They're never stuck. They have ideas. They're always moving forward. Most I's are super influential. So they are really like, they go into a party and they bring life to the party. They are outgoing, they're friendly, they're energetic, they're compassionate. Like I's don't have a problem crying. Like they watch the movie and they're like, it was so beautiful the way Iron Man blew up that building. I mean, there's just, the I personality they're influencers. If you think about an I personality as an animal, if the D is a lion, the I is going to be like the otter. So if you've ever seen an otter at the zoo or in an aquarium or something like that, I mean, they are the life of the party. They're completely running around. Now, here's an interesting fact, Bernie, that is important to this conversation. Did you know that otters are actually apex predators? We see these cute little otters and they're like, dancing around. When they hunt, they are like the fiercest machine ever. And so I's are often like that. They're great salespeople, but they can go in and close a deal. Somebody's been trying to work on this thing for 5 months. The I comes in like 1 hour, just like, boom, they get it done. But they can also not show up to the meeting because they were late and they, missed the opportunity completely because they were studying caterpillars or something that caught their attention on the way. So if you think about an I personality like a Marvel superhero, this is like Spider-Man. So Spider-Man, he always gets himself into really big problems and then he always gets himself out of the problems. Yes. So that's kind of like the I personality. Now, in the same way that it's fundamentally critical to learn the key question and the core value of the D personality, it's fundamentally critical to understand the key question and the core value of the I personality. So here's the key question that is in the back of the mind of every I personality. What does fun look like? If it's boring, I'm out. If I don't have any reason to sit and stay here, I can stay for a little while, but I got to have fun. And fun doesn't just mean like relaxing and playing Candy Crush Saga or something like that. Like I'm not talking about unproductive fun. I'm talking about engagement, energy. What does fun look like? How do I bring life to this thing? So when I'm meeting to sell something to a D, hey, this will help you win. When I'm meeting to sell something to an I, hey, this is going to be fun. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I'm in. let's do this. The core value that is something that you never want to step on the toes of the I is freedom. The moment that I give an I a ceiling, they're deflated. Hey, I need you to get these reports done. Okay, no problem. I'm going to put on my jam. I'm going to get the reports done. As opposed to, hey, I need you to sit at your desk for 5 hours. And while you sit at your desk, I need you to get these reports done. Whoa, you just put a chain on me and I can't do that anymore. So a lot of times people don't unleash the apex predator of the I because they have them, they're worried about them running all over the place like an otter. And so they try to put a chain on them when really that's the dumbest thing that you can do. Let the I do it their way. You want to put on a clown suit to sell new customers? Try it out. Hey, go have fun. That's great.
Right.
So the key question in the back of the mind of every I is, what does fun look like? The key value for every I is freedom. The core value is freedom.
Put a chain on an eye, and it's like he becomes Gollum, and it
burns. That's exactly it.
Well, I sound like a lot of fun, Joshua. Do you have any I personalities on your team by any chance?
Bernie, it is a complete wonder that we get anything done around here, because both you and I have this high I capacity. That's a good point, though. So, at work, so my natural life, like when I am my most natural self, if I'm, out on a trail hiking and just no carefree worries or whatever in the world, I'm an I. I don't have to win. Mm-hmm. I don't have anything. I just want to have fun. I want to be fully in the moment and fully be present. Sometimes when I get to work, I'm a D. Because I've got people that rely on me. I've got to get this deadline done. I've got clients that I'm trying to serve. At work, I'm a D. My natural tendency is actually an I. So I think, Bernie, you're kind of like a purebred I. You stay I at work, and at least this is whenever I talk to you, you bring energy, you bring life. It's super fun. Is that true of you at work when you're working by yourself, or do you have other personality that you put on?
Eyes have multi-personalities. No,
it's part of the thing.
I have all the personality. It's true. I tend to stay in I mode a lot. I probably when I'm at work, though, particularly if I'm on a project, we're in the middle of a project right now that we're working on. When I get into that project, I actually kind of bend to C mode a little bit.
Okay, well, we're going to get into that in a second.
We'll get that in a minute. So anyway, that's great. Let's continue down this road. Before we get to C, you have S.
That's right.
Tell us a little bit about the S personality profile.
Okay, great. We got in our I mode and we started getting distracted and just running.
That's right. Gollum and stuff. Yeah, exactly.
So the S personality, this is steady. The S these are people, they move a lot slower than the D and the I. They move a lot safer than the D and the I. The S personality is very relational. They're calm, they're easygoing, they're fundamentally loyal, they're fundamentally dependable, they're diplomatic. If you think of the animal personality of what animal is going to represent the S, this would be like the golden retriever. They're the nicest dogs in the world. When you walk in, they wag the tail. They'll sit by you. They're not a hyper energy dog. But they're nice. They're calm. They're loyal. They can bite you if you're dangerous. They'll give you a bite. But most won't. Most of them, you can put your hand in their mouth and stuff. They're going to be fine.
Right.
Yeah. So and if you think about whereas a D is bent on winning and an I is bent on having fun, an S really cares about the entire team moving forward. And it's like a win-win for everybody is always in the back of the mind of the S. This has to be fair for everybody. This has to be a win for everybody. So it's kind of like in the Marvel superhero. If you put a Marvel superhero on the S, this would be Captain America before the Civil War, which doesn't even make sense at all. That there would it's like a dumb script idea to make Captain America have a civil war. Captain America would never have a civil war. He's Captain America. Right. He wants to have everybody work together, and this is a beautiful thing. Here's the key and most important question, the thing that's in the back of the mind of every S. The question in the back of the mind of the S is, what does balance look like? If we're getting over here and this is out of balance, or we're getting over here and this is out of balance, let's bring it back to normal. I don't want to feel stressed out about everything being out of balance. And their core value is consideration. If you don't think about the implications of what it is you're doing on the team, on the S, on that person, what does this mean for me? What does this mean for my family? What does this mean for my life? Have you considered that? The S always is thinking about balance, and they're also thinking about consideration. S's are great to have in your life. I'm married to an S.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably good to have balance. So that makes sense. Okay. So I'm going to just shift a little bit here, Joshua, because I have a question. So the D wants to win.
That's right. Yep.
The S wants to win-win.
Yeah.
Everybody wins.
Right.
Everybody gets a trophy. Every balance. So what happens when a D and an S are in the same room together? Because that feels like potentially conflicting motivations or conflicting ends.
That's exactly right. So the D is like, okay, they get the group together. Everybody's together. We got a big group here. We got our whole team, and the D gets up to motivate the team, and they're like, okay, everybody, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it across this ocean. Now, some of us are gonna have to die, but it's okay. We're gonna win. And the S immediately goes, question. Some of us are going to have to die. How is this winning? Like what this can't be possible. If some of us are going to have to die, that's a bad strategy. We're not, we're not going to win. And this is why it is so critical for leaders and team members to understand personalities. That S is the most important voice right now in this organization to talk that D off the winning cliff and see if there's a way to win without everybody dying or anybody dying. Right. And so at the same time, if that ship is sinking, but it's very balancedly sinking, like my work hours are great. Everybody has great benefits. We haven't sold anything in like 6 months, but everybody really has a balanced, a happy life. That D needs to be like, no, we're going forward. We are going to die if we don't get out of this ship. So
right.
D's and S's need to work together. What a personality profile does, like back to the critical nature of an important personality, you can't fix something that you don't have language for. If you can't name it, you can't tame it. So there are things in your organization that you need to be able to put a name on. Understanding the personalities is something that I need to put a name on. And that's why I'm giving you kind of like 3 different names here. D is a lion, is like Iron Man. I is otter. It's like is Spider-Man. S is a golden retriever. It's like Captain America. So once you can start naming these things in your organization, then you can work together to find out, hey, do we need more win here? Or do we need more balance here? Yeah. Or do we need more fun here? And then I guess we should finish it out and talk about the C.
Or let's talk about the C. Tell us about it, the final one, the C personality, Joshua.
Absolutely. So the C personality, this is conscientious. These are people who take extreme care with the decisions and the actions that they're going to make. C's are reliable. They are analytical. If the C is going to build a bridge, they think about all of the vehicles that are going to go over the bridge. And you want a C to build a bridge. They're like the IT person. Yeah. You don't want your computer to crash or get a virus. They're self-disciplined. They're industrious. C's don't have a problem with like clocking in on time, clocking out on time. They do what they say that they're going to do. And they're organized. Hey, C, can you go get the file? Yeah, it's right over here. Okay, so how do I relate to a C? What is that critical question that is in the back of the mind of every C? The core question in the back of the mind of the C is, what does reliability look like? If I go to get my haircut one day and it's great, and then I go back 2 weeks later and it's not great, I'll never go there again. They're not reliable. Every product or service that we put out to the public, is it reliable? The lawnmower that I use, is it reliable? C's are always asking about and thinking about, is this reliable? Their core value is safety. If someone gets hurt because somebody else was just careless, then you're really, really stepping on the C. So if I'm going to work with a C and it's like, hey, is this safe? No, not interested. The C personalities are the ones that they make you wear the safety hat on the job site. It's not just they're available. They're sitting over here. The D is like, did we win? We check the box. We have them available. The C is like, every person has to wear this thing. And any C that listens to this is like, no, that shouldn't even be a choice. You have to wear the safety. It's a safety environment. Exactly. Like people would not wear the safety helmet. That's the craziest thing. So The core value of that C is it safe? The key question in the back of their mind is it reliable? So for a quick...
Well, and here's the I question for a C. Which Marvel character are they?
That's great. Yeah. So the C personality...
This is important.
This is really important. So think of the C as Bruce Banner. So Bruce Banner is the Incredible Hulk, but he's really the scientist who has to do every single thing in his life super safe and reliable so that he doesn't turn into the Incredible Hulk. So the C personality is really concerned and conscientious, and they're thinking about it. A scientist is a great idea for a C. I want to test everything to make sure that it's reliable. It worked once. Okay. Will it work 1,000 times? If it doesn't work 1,000 times, working once isn't that important. It needs to work over and over and over and over.
Great.
Now, let me just give an overview for the real quick. If somebody wanted to take notes and they didn't listen to all the other personality profiles. Okay. The D, key question for the D, what does winning look like? Core value, respect. The I, core question for the I, what does fun look like? And the core value, freedom. The S, key question for the S, what does balance look like? The key value is consideration. And the C, the key question for the C, what does reliability look like? And the core value, safety. If you understand those key questions in the back of your mind and you understand their core values, you can develop a healthy relationship with any one of those personality profiles. If you don't have that language and you don't have that understanding, this was me, Bernie. I was continually stepping on people's toes without realizing it. I would go into some sales meetings and they would be fantastic. I would go into other sales meetings and I don't know what happened. I dropped the ball. I missed the mark. If I'm trying to act like a D and my client is an S, I'm going to miss the mark. I'm not going to get the sale. If I'm trying to act like an S and my client is a D, I'm going to miss the mark. There's going to be like, they're real nice. I see the product, but I just, something is not right. That's something that's not right is you didn't understand their personality. You don't have to change your personality. You don't want to fake like you're them. But you do have to think about how you communicate, and you have to be mature in your personality to have a really good experience with the other people on your team or with your customers. Get the tools, make an impact. Don't allow people to fight for no reason.
Right. Well, and that seems to be the real application of this, isn't it? That we are careful not to step on each other's personalities and are self-aware enough to know, hey, this person, I think they're probably this. Yep. And so I need to rethink the way that I interact with them. Yeah. Would you say that's the best application of this, Joshua?
Yeah. And very practically, okay, so let's say you listen to this podcast and you're like, okay, what can I do to apply a DISC profile at my business? Like I get DISC tests done for my team. What can I do? Mm-hmm. The first thing to do is ask yourself as the business leader, in our business, are we winning? Are we having fun? Are we balanced? Are we reliable? And if the answer to any of those questions is not really, we're not really winning, or we're not having fun, or we don't have balance, or we're not have reliability, then I want to hunt down people with those different personalities, a D, an I, or S, or C, to influence the culture and the environment that I build at my business so that we can win more, have more fun, have more balance, and have more reliability. Mm-hmm. The next thing to do is we need to train our teams to pause before you get angry. Okay, we're having this argument. We're having this thing. Well, why are we having an argument? Because you care about winning and I care about balance, and you care about fun and I care about consistency. The other person that I'm talking to is not evil because they have a different personality than me. They just have a different personality than me. Yeah. So if I can pause and just back up for a second and say, okay, wait. Ask this question. What is it that you really want? that single question can solve so many problems in any relationship. When you start to fight, pause and ask the question, what is it that you really want? Now I'm defending a good thing. Well, what I really want is to win. That's good, right? That's good. What I really want is balance. That's good, right? That's good. Okay, let's stop fighting and let's start collaborating. Constructive tension is what builds organizations. Constructive tension, it builds that beauty of the Apple Corporation, where you've got Steve Jobs and Wozniak, where I've got Roy Disney and Walt Disney. Communication issues are business issues. If you have bad communication in your organization, you need to work on it. One of the most helpful ways to start working on communication is to understand the different personalities of the people that are in your organization.
Yeah, that's so important, Joshua. So, okay, someone's listening to us right now. Where can someone get a DISC personality test for their team? And where can their team members get training that's quality and going to really help them?
Yeah. First thing I would do for anybody that is interested in DISC is have them watch this podcast or go to YouTube and watch this or listen to our podcast. The second thing is we have a teamwork toolkit at Growability. It has 6 distinct tools in that toolkit for teamwork. The very first tool is the DISC profile. So you can get the entire toolkit for $300 that has all 6 tools. The DISC profile alone is easily worth $300. So go to growability.com, send an email to Joshua or Bernie at growability.com or podcast@growability.com, and you get your DISC profile, train your team. It's good to go.
Awesome. I love it. Well, Joshua, that's all the time we have. We've actually gone a little over time today, but that's okay. This is really important. What are your final words for our audience today?
Bernie, every time we consult with a company, we start with DISC profiles. It's critical. It's a really important first step. One more thing that I would want to point out is it doesn't only work at work. It also works with your kids. It also works with your family. So personality intelligence is a beautiful thing for developing relationships. If you haven't ever done a DISC profile, please go get a DISC profile.
I love it. Well, with that, we want to remind everyone that you are doing better than you think and you have more potential than you know. Thanks for growing with Growability. Be sure to like and subscribe to our podcast and YouTube channels and share this with people that you really like. We'll see you next week.